Yeah, because we kind of opened the conversation with this climate change question, and directly, healthcare is a direct relationship to that question. So there's changes in temperature going on throughout the world and here in the United States, and it's indicating that we're going to have hotter summers. It's also indicating that the frequency of severe storms is getting greater. It's also indicating that sea level rise is happening right here in Massachusetts, and coastal communities throughout Massachusetts are going to be threatened, and that means the life and safety of many people. So let's get real about those changes, and tell me what you're going to do to protect the people of the Commonwealth relative to those types of incidents that are occurring and are going to occur more frequently.
Charlie Baker.
That's a healthcare question, Rick. That's a little different than most of the healthcare questions I get asked. I would say that I think one of the things, the private sector is actually starting to do stuff to deal with this issue already. I mean, if you look at almost all the rulemaking around property and casualty insurance, and all the rulemaking coming out of the private sector with respect to waterfront property and all the rest, there's already been a tremendous movement to change the way both those policies get written and how they get priced and what they cover and everything else. And I think the other thing that places ought to be thinking about is, what does that mean with respect to public assets, waterfronts and stuff like that, sewer systems. And I do think that's going to be a big issue for everybody, and we're going to have to make investments in it and pursue it. And I'll give you a good example of how sometimes stuff happens that you don't expect. Boston waterfront, polluted harbor, no life, right, in the harbor. Harbor gets cleaned up, everybody agrees that's a really good thing. What happens? A whole bunch of relatively small little insects start to chew their way through every dock and every sort of wood-based, water-based dock all the way around Boston Harbor. So people had to come up with a solution to solve a problem that nobody knew they were going to have once the harbor got cleaned up. Sometimes you don't know what one change is going to mean with respect to something else, but I absolutely believe that the private sector is significantly changing the way it manages and ensures loss and risk on waterfront issues, and the public sector is going to have to deal with the fact that it's going to have to incorporate that into its planning as well.
Mark Fisher.
We definitely disagree about this issue, Rick. My last name is Fisher. That doesn't mean that I have to take all this bunk about climate change, hook, line, and sinker. The science is not there. The best thing that we can do for the citizens of Massachusetts is to tell the truth. Let's hear the other side of the story. Let's hear the scientists out there who are talking about this in Wall Street Journal, prominent scientists, other side of the issue. Let's get the truth out there. Let's not raise citizens' insurance rates because of the threat of rising sea levels because the ice is going to change. That's going to hurt us. Let's get the truth out there. That's the best thing we can do to dispel these myths. Once again, it was the coming ice age. Oops, that's wrong. It was increase in global warming. Oops, that's wrong. Now it's climate change. Come on, guys. Let's follow the science. Let's do the right thing. Let's dispel the myths. Let's have an open discussion.
All right. I'd like us all to get into a question on health care here. Dan, why don't you go next?
Rising healthcare costs and